So today I really want to just talk about a lot of the women that I'm speaking to, myself included, struggle with feeling overwhelmed. Like, oh my God, there's literally so much to do that I'm just putting out fires consistently and I'm not making any headway on the important things that I promised myself that I was going to do. What the hell? And then you start being resentful because, you know, all you've done is cook and do your child's hair and get them to where they need to be and this and that and this and that. It's just constantly putting out fires. And your life can continue like that because the fires are not going to stop coming. But what I have found, having a structure, like working with tools, whether that's a paper diary, whether that is your Google Calendar, having a week to view, month to view, year to view system changes everything, because otherwise you're just living day to day and in this doggy paddle. I'm just trying to keep my head above water, and then that's how 5 years can just go by and no progress on anything. And I know a lot of the girlies have got big plans to leave the country or, you know, go somewhere quieter or go on this particular holiday or, you know, do this course or, you know, learn a new practice, but it just doesn't happen because you're just getting through the day. So this video is dedicated to how to come out of overwhelm, how to make a strategic plan towards your big goals. My hack is using a paper diary to plan my week and transferring that into my online diary. Now, this can very quickly just turn into another to-do list that you write into your diary, whatever you, because not everyone's into paper diary. I'm so analog. I'm such an auntie. I like the old school. But if you're a digital queen, go for it. The point is that life isn't just happening to you. You are molding it to suit yourself. It requires I don't know whether your day is a Sunday evening, whether it's a Monday morning. I don't care if it's a Wednesday night. I don't care. But once a week on a regular basis, you sit down, you're like, okay, what do I need my week to look like? So first things first, the non-negotiables go in, okay? School collection or, you know, gym, cook, time to cook, whatever. I would also block out like blank periods of time where there's just you're not allowed to book anything in there. Really important, because I feel like sometimes we get very overly ambitious with what is possible in like a day. But what's nice is when you have either a digital or a paper diary with the timings down the side, you have to allocate the amount of time for that particular task. Like things like, oh, I really need to sort out my wardrobe, for example. Actually fold the stuff instead of just shoving them in there and shutting the door quickly and hoping for the best. And then when you open it back up, they all fall on your head. Like just tasks like that just perpetually don't get done, because who's got time when there's really important stuff? This is the kind of stuff that you need to actually create some time for. Sorting out your wardrobe, you know, buying new pots and pans to even get on the to-do list. I feel like the step before doing the week to view plan needs to be just getting all tasks from, even if they're from 1994, just getting them out of your head and on a piece of paper. Brain dump. Brain dump is so necessary, because you don't realize that when you haven't committed those tasks to paper, they're actually taking up bandwidth just for the fact that you needed to, when white walls get a bit, do you know what I mean? You've got handprints or it just needs to be done. I've bought the paint. I haven't done all the logistics to make that task happen, and it's just been sitting there. It's taking up brain space, but it's not on any to-do list anywhere. It's just kind of like it needs to be done, and hopefully it will get done by magic. It won't get done by magic. I need to do a brain dump of everything, and then I need to actually get to my diary. The important stuff needs to go on my week to view, and the less urgent stuff, like repainting my white walls white again, I can actually say, okay, let's say mid-September or, April, whatever it is. I've actually put it in at a reasonable time that I can mentally prepare for that happening, and it will likely happen. You have to give yourself the foresight to be able to do that, and you need the tools. Even if it is just a yearly calendar, even if it is just a family calendar, but you need to start thinking bigger picture. You need to start thinking of yourself as the architect of your life, as opposed to just being on the receiving end of stuff as it comes up. So this is what I mean by structure. It's not just a to-do list. It is a map. It is a strategy. When you put dates and time allocation, and you know that in order for that to happen, you need to contact X person, Y person, Z person, you need to have this bought, you need to have this moved, you know? The reason why certain tasks don't get done is because there's a lot of moving parts. And we think about, oh, I can't, exactly that. That's what happens. Whereas if you give it the respect that it deserves and put it maybe 2 months in advance, you can work backwards from there. An important part of this process is the review. So once you've done your week, you need to look back over your week and be like, okay, no, I got a lot done, but I haven't spoken to my sister. I haven't seen my niece or nephew. Like, the important stuff to me, none of that happened. So I need to have a look at that. Like, I pride myself in being a very family-oriented person. And although I got, employee of the week or whatever it is, I'm not showing up as the human being that I want to be. So I need to review that. And that's why we need to really think about, who do I want to be? Like, it's all well and good ticking off all the stuff on your to-do list, but are you actually now showing up as the mum or the friend? Are you traveling as much as you say you want to travel? Are you moving your body? If you're someone that finds joy and peace from moving your body, has that happened? Did that happen the week before? And if not, how can you make it a priority to build that into your life, you know? These things are important as we try to become a fully expressed version of ourselves. It's not an idea, it's not concept, it's practical, you know? If you want to be a writer, write. If you write, you're a writer. You don't need to be published and, be Issa Rae. You don't need to be Michaela Curl to call yourself a writer. Like, write. Plan in 15 minutes, 3 mornings a week to start to get your thoughts out of your head. You're a writer. But if you just don't do that and you have hopes and dreams because you know you're really good, are you writing? Okay, you're a writer. Are you talking about being a writer? You're not a writer. It's as simple as that. So my hack is little and often wins every time. Because the moment what you want to do feels like a chore and feels like, oh my God, I've given myself 4 days to complete my novel. Sis, like, just chill out. Like, you don't need to do that. It doesn't need to be like this big overwhelming thing. Just chip away at it. And here's the other thing, like, in whatever context, I'm just using writer as the example here, your first attempt is going to be crap. Like, I decided I really wanted a movement practice, so I started pole dancing. I was like a baby elephant. I was crap, I was rubbish, but that is part of the process. And some of you don't want to be rubbish. You want to be perfect on your first try, and that's just not the way the world works. Get your crappy first draft out as soon as possible, and then you refine it from there. That's real process. That's actually how it works. The other thing I would say is to preempt all the things that are going to get in your way. So whether that is, someone's going to say something fresh and it's going to make me feel annoyed and like I don't want to continue. So know that if you're the sort of person that's going to be affected by people's opinions, make a choice to keep it to yourself. You don't have to tell everyone your business. If you know that you're going to be knackered on a Saturday morning when you promised yourself you'll go to the gym, well then, if you can already preempt that you're going to be tired, make sure that you have a conversation with your partner and say, look, it's going to need to be Monday evening. I'm not going to be up out on Monday evenings, but you're only going to get that time if you preempt the fact that any other time of the week I'm just not going to have the brain cells, so I'm going to have that conversation early and make sure everything is in place to allow me that freedom to go do what I need to do when my brain is fresh and it's viable. So you need to communicate with the community around you. If you know that you're the sort of person who has got negative thinking and you're probably going to say, oh, you're not going to do that because you're rubbish, like, know that about yourself. And what are the things you can do to kind of negate that? Pay for the thing up front. You know that you're going to try and talk yourself out of it. So pay for a year's worth of classes, or make sure that, just preempt the fact that you know that you're going to be a negative Nancy and figure out how you're going to overcome it ahead of time. Because if you don't consider the things that are going to hold you back, guess what? they're going to hold you back. Understand yourself and do what you need to do to overcome. That's why I say in my practice, I rarely do payment plans. Sometimes I do, but a lot of the time I'm like, pay in full for the full process, because then you'll commit, then you will show up, because there's going to be times where you don't want to. But at least if you've committed, you will show up, It's really important that you understand how your own psychology works and do your best to give yourself the best chance of success. Yeah. So, structure. It is your friend. Be on the front foot with this stuff. Make it pleasurable, because if you hate getting out your bed in the cold, figure out how you can make it more of a downhill slope, as opposed to I've woken up, it's cold, I need to find my gym kit, or I've woken up and I really don't like porridge. So make yourself a smoothie. Make it pleasurable. I started to talk about it just then. Give yourself a head start. Fold your clothes in the morning ahead of time. Have a conversation with your partner so that they know that they're going to be on their own with the children. These are all random examples, but have the fruits that you're going to make your smoothie with ready on the counter so that you just come down and stick them in. Do you know what I mean? Give yourself a hope in hell by using structure to prepare yourself so that it feels like, okay, we're doing this. That is the hat, Do things that your future self will thank you for. That's great advice.